Welcome to The Relay, a podcast from Gulf Relay where we dive behind the scenes of our operations, teams, and industry.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of The Relay. I'm excited to be joined by Miss Maddie Cook today. Today we're going to be talking about a few things, the market and where we are today with that, but also how we're going to prepare internally for that. And I think today you're going to be talking about things like service and scorecards.
Absolutely.
So take us away, Maddie.
Yeah, so before we get into the technical deep market dive, obviously the first quarter of every year is really bid season. That's when the bids come in. That's when we have meeting upon meeting to go through a new pricing exercise. And, it's sort of right now, the conversation is, well, what can we bid this and when can we go back for more?
Right.
So something that we have to keep in the back of our minds operationally is how do we set you guys up for the greatest chance of success when you do have to go back and have those conversations about a rate increase? And obviously the biggest factor to do that is service.
Absolutely.
As a 3PL, we don't actually make anything. All we have is our service to offer, and anything subpar than excellent, customers probably not going to give you that rate increase. So as far as operationally, what we have done is I've revamped a couple boards, must service business list. We've put a couple accounts on the hot watch list. Some accounts that we specifically know that we need to go back and ask for. We have also discussed and recently implemented a new customer scorecard meeting that we're going to be doing monthly, which is going to be sort of going over our scorecards that we receive from the customers and comparing them to our own internal data. Because something that I'm working on is trying to track our own service internally a little better than what we have right now. Just to say, hey, what are our key root causes of failures and how can we sort of make that better to set you guys up for success and make it easier instead of walking in there and trying to have a conversation.
Absolutely.
When I failed 3 loads last week. It's a harder conversation to have.
Absolutely. And I think we're using tools like BI to really pull this from our TMS to make a really nice screen to do that. Can you kind of dive into how transitioning that data out of McLeod and making it to where you can present this to a customer really makes it easier?
Right. Well, we have, hopefully you all have met Allie Brown by now. We've been joined by Allie Brown, who is a data analytics for the asset division, and she's been a godsend as far as what she can do with Power BI.
Absolutely.
And if you don't know what Power BI is, it is it integrates with our TMS, McLeod, and it takes what McLeod spits out in numbers, and you can really make it do whatever you want to. So it puts into some pretty nice pie charts, graphs, date ranges where you can really manipulate that data and show that customer and tell a story through the pictures and the graphs and whatever you need to do. So that's what we look at. I look at it, multiple times a day on several different metrics. Loaded miles to make sure we're running the amount of loaded miles we need to, empty miles, deadhead, service. That's what I'm looking at all day.
It's great implementing technology, and we have really, over the last 2 years, implemented a new level of technology to our company, and it feels like every month we're putting in updates and improving those scorecards through this technology. So it's been a great launch, and like you said, Allie Brown has been a great part of that. Y'all teaming up together has made my life a little bit easier. So, I think in transition on this, really talking about the market and where we are today, where we came from, with COVID really hitting us hard and the demand for trucks, drivers, even warehousing space just flew through the roof. And so today the question is what does the future look like? I think that's a question that everyone is trying to answer. We go to many conferences and we're listening to some of the greatest leaders in the industry talk about this, not only from a 3PL level or broker or an asset-based carrier. They're all asking the same question: when will we see a rebound? And I think at this point it's still a little bit of a guessing game. We are in the early part of the year, which is typically the slower part, as we've seen. But using freight waves and using our Stevens reports, and Scott Osland, our CEO, hosts a town hall meeting every month, and he brings and gathers all this data that we have together and really helps us to paint a picture. This helps sales, customer service, the whole 9 yards. And so, when we bring all that data together, it helps us to paint a picture. Today, I would tell you, we're always hoping that tomorrow is going to be a brighter day, right? We're in what we call probably the trough of the market. We're at our lowest point. So we're hoping we're going to go on a bull run here and really see an uptick in the market for everybody.
Absolutely. And just as far as a day-to-day thing, Bryce and I, as we're going out to procure some spot freight, if we have to, what we're doing, really on a daily basis is what section of the country is heating up right now.
Right.
There are multiple sources of data you can go to look for this, and it'll tell you on a real, pretty much to a 3-day scale what they think is going to be hot next. So we're trying to leverage that knowledge on the operations floor to when we do have to go fill in some back freight here and there.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're trying to leverage it and book into a market that we think is going to be hotter.
Absolutely.
In the next couple of days by the time the driver gets there.
Yeah, and we're tying that into, our customers as well, trying to send them to customer
Correct.
freight, and which is a good question. Today, what do you think our customer to broker percentage is today?
Probably about 13% broker currently.
Good.
If I could guess.
Good.
Yep.
And we've seen that as strong as 5%.
Yes.
And during these times when markets are at the bottom like they are, you have to go out there. So we have strategic relationships with brokers that we use today for those backhauls and relocating those trucks into a better market.
Right. Mariner has been a huge fill. So
Absolutely.
our actual broker percentage, if you included Mariner, is probably much higher than that.
Yeah.
However, Mariner has been fantastic to work with and has been a really nice avenue for the asset division in this time.
Absolutely. Teamwork makes the dream work. Well, Maddie, thank you for joining us today on another great
absolutely.
episode of The Relay. We hope to be back in front of you very soon with another update. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, guys.